Hello everyone, my name is John, and today I'm going to be showing you how I painted my Type 6 Sassori Walker for the Japanese in Konflikt 47. Please do remember this is a tabletop standard tutorial, so I am not going to be winning you any awards. However, I am going to be showing you how I painted my model and hopefully inspire you to paint yours. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I've already primed my model with khaki primer, and for the base coat I'm going to be using Angel Green from Army Painter. I've gone with the airbrush approach for this one. It's a larger model, so I thought that it might be easier and smoother than using a brush. So I'm just applying this paint very thinly in layers, using a circular pattern when I spray so as to not build it up too much on the model. Always making sure to keep my paint nice and thin so that it flows through the brush. Now that we've got a nice, decently dark green base coat, I'm going to be using a tiger template. I got this one off of Amazon to apply a sort of tiger stripe pattern. The first color in this pattern is going to be Mornframe Brown from Citadel. So I hold the template up to the model. I'm not being too careful and just lightly applying the paint through those tiger stripes to hopefully give it a nice pattern. So at the end, we've ended up with this. I promise the stripes are a little more vivid than they appear on camera, the light's just reflecting off of the wet paint. So now we're going to be adding yellow stripes over. This is ochre yellow from Vallejo. Using the same method, template, short strokes with the brush, applying layers of paint on. So now we've got our model nice and coated, but I think some of the paint kind of spilled over through the template. I wasn't holding it very well. So I'm just going to go back with a brush and kind of make some of the lines a little more vivid. That darkened the stripes up pretty well. So now we're going to do the same thing but with green and maybe draw some of the lines back in where the yellow bled over. Alright, that cleared those lines up a little bit. So now we are going to paint the windows with electric blue from Army Painter. I don't want to get too much paint on the brush since the surface is so small, so I wipe some off with my thumb and get to work. I really like this color for glass or showing that there's light reflecting off of a surface or coming from inside. Either way, I think it looks good. Now we're going to do the little headlights with airbrush version Ulthan Gray from Citadel. So I just begin putting it over the headlights very lightly. I don't care to spill over those cages. I'm going to come back over later with another color. Next, we've got ourselves some gunmetal from Army Painter. We're going to use this to paint the two MMGs on the front of the chassis and the little cages for the lights. Of course, being careful not to spill any over, as this pigment will be very hard to remove from our main camouflage scheme. Now, for washing, we are going to use Agrax Earthshade, the Miracle Liquid from Citadel, and mix it with some Lamium Medium to kind of thin it out and make sure we spread the pigments very easily across this large surface. This is going to give the model a nice, dirty, blended look as if it's been out in the sun doing some patrolling. Now it is all dry, and we're going to be applying some final finishing touches. Nothing too fancy. We're going to start with Typhus Corrosion from Citadel. This is going to give us a rust effect. We're going to use a worn out brush and kind of tap it onto the areas where rust would likely build up. So on the hatches and around joints where moisture might build up. Also using it to cover up any mistakes we may have made or places that didn't quite get enough paint on them. I find it useful for that. And as a final, not necessary but fun little finishing layer, we're going to use Ryza Rust, a dry paint from the Citadel line. This is going to go over our newly put Typhus Corrosion Rust paint, and just on any areas we want to spice up with a little extra color. Again, not necessary, but a nice little finishing touch for the camera. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, a finished Type 6 Sassori Light Walker. I had a lot of fun painting this model, even though my airbrush actually broke and I had to borrow Mikey's, but, you know, when life gives you lemons, make orange juice, I guess. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. I certainly had fun painting it, and would love to know your thoughts and opinions. So get out there and play some Konflikt 47, and remember, whatever you do in life, just don't roll a 1.